Ladies and gentlemen, the following podcast is set for one episode. Your host from Columbus, Ohio, is Michael Kirk. Welcome to the Outlaw Mudcast. Hello and welcome to the Outlaw Mudcast, your digital audio dirt sheet for all things Supershow. Top story this week, we have a schedule for Gen Con, sort of. We've known that events were submitted to Gen Con a while ago. We've been waiting for those events to be listed on Gen Con's website so people can purchase the tickets and go to the events. 3 of the events have finally shown up in the Gen Con listings. If you go to where you can get event tickets on the website, if you type in SRG, or if you type in Supershow, the same 3 events come up. Supershow Tag Team Random Partners, Supershow Underworld Singles, and Supershow Tag Team Selected Partners. The Random Partner Tag Team event is scheduled for Friday at 5 p.m. The Underworld Singles event is scheduled for Friday at 5 p.m. And the Tag Team Selected Partners event is scheduled for Sunday at 11 a.m. Now, you may be saying to yourself, didn't you give the same day and time for the first 2 events for the Random Partner Tag and the Underworld event? Yes, I did. Currently, both of the events are listed at the same day and time on the website. SRG Universe is aware of this. They are working with Gen Con to get those 2 events to be at different times. And I'm assuming not just different times, but different enough so that players could go to and participate in both events. Let me give you the details for each of these events as listed on Gen Con's website. All 3 of these events are $2. They are electronic ticket events. You won't need to get a printed ticket. You will, I'm assuming, need some sort of smartphone, some sort of device that can be scanned by whoever's going to be running these tournaments at Gen Con. The postings are light on details, but from past experience, you'll need to bring everything for all 3 of these events. You'll need to bring your own competitor, you'll need to bring your own 1 through 30 card deck, you'll need to bring entrances, spectacles if you decide to use those 2 elements. You'll need to bring your own dice. As I'm looking over the first post for the Random Partner Tag, it says there are no materials required. That is not true. You're going to have to bring everything you need to play. This event is scheduled for, again, 5 p.m. Eastern on Friday to take place in Hall D, which is just one section of the large gaming hall at Gen Con. It'll be green tables number 1 through 11 in Hall D. That is what is listed right now. That may change because they are looking to move at least one of the 2 Friday events to a different time, potentially a different day. The other current 5 p.m. Friday event, the Underworld Singles event, does list that World Division competitors are booked. It does say the World's competitors are top 32. This is probably before that change to the World's being now a top 64. This will be in the same hall, Hall D, but at orange tables, 28 through 35. Again, that could change. That's the Underworld Singles event. And then Sunday, 11 a.m., the Tag Team Selected Partners event. It's going to be Hall D, the green tables again, like the first event, but tables 21 through 24. Each one of the events has a minimum and maximum number of players listed, but I assume they'll run it if they get more or if they get less. We'll have to see. Those are the 3 events roughly that will be happening at Gen Con. I'm assuming at least one of those will change the day and or time between now and when Gen Con happens in just 11 days from the time I'm recording this. Again, all the events are $2 a piece. You purchase those events on the Gen Con website. Speaking of Gen Con, I have additional product news for products that are releasing at Gen Con and at Southern Friday Gaming Expo. Gen Con, Indianapolis, Indiana, July 30th through August 2nd. Southern Friday Gaming Expo in Atlanta, Georgia, July 31st through August 2nd. We have the last 6 competitors that are going to be in the 4th wave of the Grand Packs releasing at Gen Con, at Southern Friday Gaming Expo, and on SupershowTheGame.com the last weekend of this month. Those 6 competitors are Mr. C, Razzle Dazzle and Tux, The Judge, The Misfits, Original Trash Chief, and a new version of Ref Dave. They showed those competitors on the last episode of Talk of the Universe. They've also posted in 3 separate posts on the SRG Super Show discussion group on Facebook images for all of the competitor sets releasing in Grand Pack Wave 4 and all of the 1 through 27 cards that are part of the mix for Grand Pack Wave 4. If you want to check those out, that's where I would suggest checking those out. Of the Grand Pack competitors, one of them will be harder to get than the others. That one, as chosen by a poll on the last episode of Talk of the Universe, is the Misfit. The Misfit will be the harder to get competitor in Grand Pack Wave 4. So be aware of that if you're chasing the Misfit. He's going to be harder to get than other competitors from the wave. There are also going to be 2 brand new, old school, 2-player box sets releasing at Gen Con and at Southern Friday Gaming Expo. It'll be a different box set at each convention, but from what I understand, both sets will be available on SupershowTheGame.com. This is per Titan on the last episode of Star Power. The 2 box sets are the Stone versus Lukewarm Stephen Houston and Jean-Dre the Gigantic Grenoble versus the Unreal American Hunk Homeland. The Stone versus Lukewarm Stephen Houston will be available at Gen Con. Jean-Dre the Gigantic Grenoble versus the Unreal American will be available at Southern Fried Gaming Expo. I have heard that the finishes for these competitors are new finishes. They're not just reprints of the previous sets. The competitors will have new finishes. Again, card subject to change. I do not know this for sure until I actually have the product in hand, until it's been physically produced and out to the public. But that's what was reported, so I'm passing that on to you. One last bit of specific Southern Fried Gaming Expo and Gen Con news regarding products. There may be logoed products, maybe the daily promos. We haven't heard about those yet, but the daily promos may be logoed for either Gen Con or Southern Friday Gaming Expo. We don't know for sure, but that could be the case. That's all the news I have right now, specifically for Gen Con and Southern Friday Gaming Expo. I do have some other product news. The first bit potentially related to Southern Friday Gaming Expo. We have an announcement of new independent wrestlers coming to Super Show the Game. The Good Brothers. The tag team of Doc Gallows and Machine Gun Carl Anderson. That tag team is coming to Super Show the Game. It's coming out as a Tornado Tag Team competitor, as well as individual single competitor sets for both Doc Gallows and Machine Gun Carl Anderson. If you want to see what those look like and what they do, they were shown on the last episode of Expanding the Universe. That's a great place to see those. We do not have a release date for those competitor sets. There is hope that they will be out in time for Gen Con and Southern Fried Gaming Expo because the Good Brothers will be guests at Southern Fried Gaming Expo. So players would love to essentially have the competitor sets in hand and be able to get them autographed by the two members of the Good Brothers. It's going to be a tight window. The competitor sets had not been sent to the printer as of last Thursday because they were still being worked on Expanding the Universe. Can the printer get the sets printed and mailed out in time for those sets to be available at Southern Fried Gaming Expo? We'll have to see. That is a very tight delivery window. It will be great for the players at Southern Fried to be able to get their competitors and to get them autographed that same weekend. Very convenient for people who are looking for autographs. I do not know if that's going to be the case. It's going to be a very difficult thing. I don't know what the normal turnaround time on getting competitor sets printed is. This would almost certainly be a rush job if it happens. Hopefully they are able to be out in time, but I would not expect it. I would not expect it, but maybe it'll happen. We'll have to see. Speaking of Tornado Tag Team competitor sets coming out, there was an image put out on the last episode of Star Power on the Big Picture Premium Twitch channel. I mentioned what Titan reported earlier. He also showed the image of a new Tornado Tag. I believe it's the young, smart, and financially stable Tornado Tag Team of the Screaming Banshee and Wrench Monkey. That's what it looked like on the images he showed on Star Power. I did not get to see a lot of the details about what that competitor set does, but I did see the art for it. Check that out if you want to know about young, smart, and financially stable. One last bit of product news, not related to Supershow the Game. SRG Universe is publishing a new wrestling-themed card game called This Is Awesome. From what I've seen, from what I've heard Steve Resk talk about, the CEO of SRG Universe, there's a solo mode, a cooperative mode, and a head-to-head mode. SRG Universe did not create this game, but they're publishing it. They have released some images from the game on Facebook. I believe they've released those on the SRG Universe Facebook page. It could be on Steve Resk's personal Facebook page. It could have been on the SRG Super Show discussion group on Facebook. I don't remember off the top of my head where I saw it, but there are some images of the game if you want to look at those on social media, on Facebook specifically. That's the big story out of this week, just the Southern Fried Gaming Expo and Gen Con updates. Other bits of news. I'll start with the 2025 Create a Competitor Competition semifinal match results. It is confirmed that El Gordo Americano defeated Sundown Moon, and so El Gordo Americano and the Dude will square off in the finals of the 2025 CCC. No details as to when the actual match is going to happen, when the judges will come in and determine the winner. Steve Resk and SRG Universe will go out and find judges outside of the SRG Universe player community. Bring those judges in. Those judges will watch videos produced by the Dude and by El Gordo Americano, and based on those videos, they will vote for a winner of the 2025 CCC. Steve Resk has asked the two finalists to put out video content to hype up their eventual finals match. I've seen a couple of videos from the Dude so far. I haven't seen any videos from El Gordo yet, but El Gordo did make an appearance on Star Power and talk about the CCC. So at least that is out there for El Gordo. I expect we'll see more as time goes on, and I'll report on when the actual finals match is going down when I have that information. There were some stories I missed. Let me give those to you in no particular order. First, there had been a tag team tournament hosted by Big Picture Premium to determine their tag team champions. The Cheetah and Rowdy Ron won that tournament, so they have been crowned the Big Picture Premium tag team champions. Their first opponents will be the Unionverse tag team of the Foreman and Flamefire. No date or time yet for that match, but that will be the first championship match for the Big Picture Premium Tag Team Championship. I reported previously that Bob Dunn was reinstated as LFF Underworld General Manager. With that reinstatement, he has brought back the promotion contender tournament. What that is this. When certain competitors are promoted into the Underworld Division, meaning they come into the Underworld Division from a division other than the World Division, they're entering the top 96. He takes the competitors that are entering the Underworld Division, determines which players are most responsible for that competitor going into the Underworld Division, and they are placed into a tournament. 9 players were placed into a single elimination tournament. 2 of those players were both considered to have gotten El Frenetico promoted into the Underworld Division, so those 2 competitors will square off for a spot in the top 8, both playing as El Frenetico, and then the remaining 7 of the 9 in the tournament are in a single elimination bracket, and they'll just play one fall to a finish, single elimination until one player wins. The tournament winner should get a future shot at the LFF Underworld Championship. I'm not sure if anybody else in the tournament will earn a shot at that championship. Speaking of contender tournament information that I missed, the United States Contender Tournament is currently underway. New York rules will be the stipulation in the first round of the United States Contender Tournament, where the winner will become a contender for the LFF United States Championship. That's the past news, but I do have additional contender tournament news. I mentioned last week about the new format for contender tournaments and how the LFF World Heavyweight Championship Contender Tournament will be the first conducted under this format. 8 players will essentially get an invitation directly into the round of 16. It looks like those 8 players will be chosen based on the player standings in the Supershow scoring app. If you want to be one of the players that gets an invitation to that tournament, then you may want to step up your play in tournaments recorded on that app. So basically your weekly online Monday night fights, Thursday night fights, tournaments like that. Jump into pop-ups when you can. And try to get your locals to record their results on the Supershow scoring app. That is the news I have for you this week, outside of online tournaments and featured matches. So let's go through those starting Monday with Monday Night Fights. Open division event. All singles competitors legal, subject to 20/20 vision. 10 players played in 4 bullet rounds. And then after those 4 bullet rounds, there was a cut to a top 4 based on overall record. In the semifinal round, all of the matches were New York Rules matches. The finals match and the third place match were both Psycho Circus matches. Your top 4 were in 4th place, playing as the original version of Donation, Mike Benton. In 3rd place, playing as Robert the Brain Dunn, Pride. In 2nd place, playing as King Brian Cage, El Hombre Cybernetico, and the winner of Monday Night Fights, playing as Fey Dragon, HR. Congratulations to HR for winning Monday Night Fights. Wednesday night, after Talk of the Universe, there was a match for the Midwest Coast Championship. The champion, Ref Dave, championed with Ref Dave. The challenger, the Monday Night Fights tournament winner, HR, challenging with HR. Standard singles match. It ends up going to crowd meter 2. The winner, new champion, HR. Congratulations to HR for winning the Midwest Coast Championship, for winning Monday Night Fights. 2 big wins this week for HR. Thursday, we had Thursday night boss fights. Underworld Division event. World Division competitors booked. All other singles competitors legal, subject to 2020 vision. 24 players played in 5 bullet rounds, and then after those 5 bullet rounds, there was a cut based on record to top 8. In the quarterfinal round of the top cut, all of the matches were kendo stick matches. In the semifinal round, all of the matches were New York rules matches. The finals match and the third place match, both Psycho Circus matches. Your top 4 were in 4th place, playing as Nick Nemeth, the Wanted Man version, Zach Ashton. In 3rd place, playing as the new version of the Grim Librarian, the Grim Librarian. In 2nd place, playing as Mayor of the Chain Gang, Colby Cram. And the winner, playing as King of New York, Swaggy D. Congratulations to Swaggy D for winning Thursday night boss fights. Friday, there was an episode of Ignite on the Big Picture Premium Twitch channel. 2 matches on the card for Ignite. The opening match, kind of an impromptu match. El Hombre Cybernetico, playing as El Hombre Cybernetico, takes on the New York Phenom, playing as Papa Naquaquan. Relatively short match. I don't believe it goes past crowd meter 0. The winner, El Hombre Cybernetico. Because this match was sprung on the New York Phenom, seemingly while they were on air, they're going to have some sort of rematch. No date or time when, but look for a rematch between the New York Phenom and El Hombre Cybernetico at some point in the future. The second match and final match of the night was a match for a contract to be in the rotation of combatants on Ignite. We have Bobby Ohio playing as Bobby Ohio versus the Misfit playing as Matt Cardona, the original Matt Cardona, facing off in a standard singles match. The match ends up going to crowd meter 1. The winner joining the roster of competitors on Ignite, the Misfit. Congratulations to the Misfit for joining the cast of Ignite. As Ignite was going off the air, there was an announcement that Ref Dave and Rambo Apocalypse will have a match at some point in the future. The winner gets control of the Big Picture Premium Twitch channel, network, programming. That's what's going down. Watch for that. This could make big changes happen for Big Picture Premium. There was also a pop-up event on Friday night. The PC Open pop-up event. Underworld Division event. 8 players played in 4 bullet rounds, and then after those 4 bullet rounds, they cut to a top 3. Shannon Stevens received a bye directly to the finals. Ricky Riot as Brawl Duke faced off against Chugonomics as the original version of the High Roller for the other spot in the finals. The winner of this play-in Strike Club stipulation match, Ricky Riot. So Ricky Riot as Brawl Duke versus Shannon Stevens as Possum King in a Raven's Blood Cemetery match. The winner Ricky Riot. Congratulations to Ricky Riot for winning the Friday night pop-up event. Saturday, we had the monthly Saturday Night Rumble Tournament, July Jam. Underworld Division event, 12 players, played in 4 bullet rounds, and then after those 4 bullet rounds, there was a cut to a top 6. 2 players received buys directly to the semifinals. The remaining 4 played for the other 2 semifinal round spots. The playoff matches were New York Rules matches. The semifinal matches were Psycho Circus matches. The finals match and the third place match were also New York Rules matches. Your top 4 ended up being in 4th place, playing as Moonstar, Stephen Moonstar himself. In 3rd place, playing as Hold the Line Harry himself. In 2nd place, playing as Homicide, the SRG boss, and the winner of Saturday Night Rumble, July Jam, playing as Brawl Duke, Ricky Riot. Congratulations to Ricky Riot for winning Saturday Night Rumble. Congratulations for winning back-to-back tournaments this week. Sunday, we had Sunday Night Fights. 4 matches are on the card for Sunday Night Fights. Before the matches started, there was a brief announcement from the SRG boss, Steve Resk. It was concerning the contender tournaments I've been talking about. One additional detail on those tournaments will be completed in one day. So the tournaments will start and end in one day. There won't be multiple weeks for players to play their matches. They will have to finish the tournament by the end of the day. With that announcement out of the way, the first match of the night was for the Deep South Championship. The challenger, Robert the Brain Dunn, playing as El Cerebro. The champion, TVA Commissioner Drew Madsen, champion with the Real Beater. The challenger gets off to a hot start, successfully uses his entrance card, Jump the Bell, to blank his opponent's entrance card, the Deep South Championship belt card, and is just winning turn rolls. The champion, though, able to battle back, pushes it to Crowd Meter 2. The winner, still champion at Crowd Meter 2, TVA Commissioner Drew Madsen. Congratulations to the champion for a successful defense. His next challengers will be Possum Kang and Lauren Santiago. Not necessarily in that order, but he will have 2 defenses at Southern Friday Gaming Expo against those 2 opponents. I'm assuming if he loses the first match, whoever becomes the new champion will defend against the other challenger. That was the Deep South Championship match. The second match of the night was for the LFF Trios Championship. The challenger, Bobby Ohio, challenging with TBG. The champion, the Starbreaker Trey Cantrell, champion with Ursus, the Wrestling Bear. This was a long, hard-fought match. The challenger twice played a finish and had that finish stopped by a card. That itself became a finish because it was able to stop his finish. Able to stick around, though. Pushes it to Crowd Meter 4. The winner, though, at Crowd Meter 4, still champion, the Starbreaker Trey Cantrell. Congratulations to the Starbreaker for a successful defense. His next championship match will be a fatal 4-way match at Southern Friday Gaming Expo. He will be facing Simple Chuck, Practice Site, and the franchise in this fatal 4-way match. The winner of this match will go on that same Southern Fried Gaming Expo weekend to defend against the chosen one, Colby Cran. So 2 LFF Trios Championship matches at Southern Friday Gaming Expo. The first, a fatal 4-way. The second, just a standard trios match. Third match of the night was for the LFF Tri-State Tag Team Championship. This was a New York rules match because all LFF Tri-State Championship matches are New York rules matches. It started at Crowd Meter 1. It had no disqualifications. In addition, it was also a Derby dog collar match. The challengers, the team of Swaggy D, playing as Danny Limelight, and Sam Stanton playing as Evilise, La Sicaria. The champions, Cold Candy Crush. Candyman Dan as Fortress, Le Penguin as Brian Cage is the effing machine. The match ends up going to Crowd Meter 3. The winners at Crowd Meter 3, still champions, Cold Candy Crush. Congratulations to Cold Candy Crush for a successful defense. There was a question that came up during the tag team match revolving around the card Outsider Distraction. Outsider Distraction says your opponent cannot increase their turn rolls. Does that affect the ability to double team? No. If you're not familiar with the double team mechanic, it's a mechanic that's active in tag team matches and triad matches. Two players who are eligible to double team with each other, if they're rolling for their turn rolls and they roll the same skill for the turn roll, they can choose to combine their turn roll values into a shared turn roll, and if they win, they take a shared turn against their opponents. So if player A rolls grapple 7, player B rolls grapple 9, they're allowed to double team. They're considered to have rolled a grapple of 16. It's not that player A added the 9 from player B and player B added the 7 from player A. There's no increasing. It's just a combination. This is different than save rolls. In a save roll, one player hits a finish on another. Player A hits a finish against player B. Player B attempts to roll a breakout roll. Player C, if the save roll mechanic is in play, can roll save rolls. If the skill player C rolled for the save roll matches the skill player B rolled for the breakout roll, player B can add the value of the skill player C rolled to his breakout roll. That's an increase to breakout roll. I think this is where a lot of the confusion comes in, because the double team mechanic and the saving mechanic are two different mechanics, but people will sort of informally refer to them both as tagging, but they're two different things. There's no increasing in double teaming. There is increasing in saving. So things that prevent increasing will not work in double teaming. Preventing turn roll increases has no effect on double teaming. Preventing breakout roll increases does have an effect regarding save rolls. I hope that made sense to you all. Double teaming does not increase turn rolls, so nothing that prevents turn roll increases can block double teaming. The final match of Sunday Night Fights was for the LFF Veterans Championship. The challenger, Spencer Vance, playing as Spencer Vance, the boatswain's mate. The champion, Gene Kenny, champion with Jack's Pet of the Year. This was a long, hard-fought match. I would say the momentum was with the challenger. Unfortunately, the challenger kept rolling low when it came to his finish rolls. And at Crowd Meter 3, the champion hits a finish, wins, successfully defends. Congratulations to Gene Kenny for a successful defense. That was Sunday Night Fights. As far as what's coming up for next week, There should be Monday Night Fights. It will be hosted by Ron Rumble. We should have Thursday Night Fights. We should have Dojo Tuesday Night, twitch.tv/srguniverse. I would expect Stacked Card this Wednesday on the Big Picture Premium Twitch channel. I do not know that for sure. And then, of course, later on this month, we're going to have Southern Friday Gaming Expo and Gen Con the last weekend of July, first weekend of August, that period from July 30th through August 2nd. With that being said, that is going to do it for this week's episode of the Outlaw Mudcast. I would like to thank all of you for listening, and good day.